Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good evening and welcome to Spring Global on Western Spring Television. Now the headlines. Nigeria Railway Corporation shuts train station following kidnap of many passengers. China reopens borders to international visitors after 3 years of COVID closure. 2 buses collide in central Senegal, killing at least 38 people. My name is Okweyemioni. Hours after gunmen suspected to be herdsmen kidnapped many passengers from a train station in Edo State, the Nigeria Railway Corporation today announced the closure of Ekahan Station to further notice. The corporation said the decision became necessary following rising security challenges. Earlier in a statement, Edo State Police Public Relations Officer Chidi Nwabuzo said the travelers were waiting to board a train from the station to Warri in Delta State when they were kidnapped by the suspected herdsmen yesterday evening. Mr. Nwabuzo said the abductors stormed the train station with AK-47 rifles and shot sporadically into the air before abducting many passengers into the bush. It disclosed that many of the travelers sustained bullet wounds. However, the police spokesperson assured that operatives were on the trail of the abductors in order to rescue the kidnapped victims. The latest abduction of passengers comes barely a year after terrorists attacked a train on its way from Abuja to Kaduna on March 28, 2022. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general election, Peter Obi, has urged Nigerians to vote out major political parties who have been claiming to have structures. Mr. Obi, who spoke in Osun State at a presidential campaign rally held by his party, also said ethnicity and religious reasons should not be considered by the voters in next month's poll. He also promised that his administration will govern the country with the fear of God, fight corruption, tackle insecurity, provide jobs, and change Nigeria from a consuming country to a producing country if voted into power. Olayinka was there and now reports.
Nigerians have once again expressed optimism and a hope for a better country as residents of Osun State came out in large numbers to show support to the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, and his running mate, Senator Yusuf Datti Baba Ahmed. The campaign team arrived at the Freedom Park, Osogbo, amidst cheers from supporters and the Labour Party faithful who were singing and chanting the party slogan. The chief spokesman of the Labour Party presidential campaign, Dr. Yunusa Salisu Tanko, has also declared that Peter Obi symbolizes hope because he resonates with the Nigerian youth in the aspects of security, quality education, employment opportunities, and infrastructures.
So I want to urge all Nigerians, especially Osun State citizens, to go all out and collect this PVC because it is the PVC that is your weapon to collect and vote for the person of your choice. Without the PVC, you will not be able to vote for your person. But it is also clear that INEC need to find a way of making sure that they popularize those PVCs that have not been collected and whose PVC are they.
Popular human rights activist Aisha Yesufu urged Nigerians to use their voters' card to vote Obi as president because only Obi has the capacity to revive the nation.
The power belongs to who? You own the power. Every one of us here, we have the power to decide who becomes the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We pray for miracles every 4 years, and today we are here where this miracle is. Every day we go to sleep, we are crying. We are either crying or our neighbors are crying.
The Labour Party chairman, Barrister Julius Abure, clamored on the need for Nigerians to get their permanent voters' card and vote for the right candidate, which he believes is Peter Obi.
Democracy is government by the people, for the people, and by the people. And what is Labour Party? vote for Labour Party. Thank you and God bless you.
Presidential candidate Senator Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed expressed his gratitude to the residents of Osun for coming out in large numbers to show support to him and the party. Senator Dati Baba Ahmed appealed to be voted for because of his character, competence, and because he and Obi would drive the nation to a place of peace.
Labour Party, electorally speaking, is the only party standing. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. By the grace of God Almighty, this election has already been won. By the grace of God Almighty, Peter Obi is the next president, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Mr. Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, assured Nigerians that if voted for, he will be committed to a new Nigeria in all ramifications.
This man said they were owing him pension. Go to Anambra State. I left government on 17th of March 2014. I was not owing pension. I was not owing gratuity. I was not owing any civil servant. Let me say it in front of him. To owe pension and a gratuity is a crime. You know why? You're owing people when they are old and they have less opportunity. You cannot owe them. We will change the concept. Just hold us responsible. I will not going to delegate. I'm going to be commander-in-chief.
Olayinka Ali, Western Spring Television News.
In Europe, Russia's overnight bombings of regions in eastern Ukraine have killed at least one person after Moscow ended a self-declared Christmas ceasefire and vowed to push on with combat until it reaches a victory over its neighbor. President Vladimir Putin on Friday ordered a 36-hour ceasefire along the line of contact to observe Russia and Ukraine's Orthodox Christmas, which fell on Saturday, but Ukraine rejected the truce and there was shelling along the front line. Governor of the northeastern region of Kharkiv said a 50-year-old man died in the region as a result of Russia's shelling. Turning to Asia, China lifted quarantine requirements for incoming travelers today, ending almost 3 years of self-imposed isolation, even as the country battles a surge in COVID-19 cases. The first people to arrive expressed relief at not having to undergo the grueling quarantines that were a fixture of life in zero-COVID China. And in Hong Kong, where the border with mainland China was reopened after years of closure, more than 400,000 people were set to travel north in the coming 8 weeks. Last month, Beijing began a dramatic dismantling of a headlined zero-COVID strategy that had enforced mandatory quarantines and punishing lockdowns. But the expected surge in visitors has led more than a dozen countries to impose mandatory COVID tests on travelers from the world's most populous nation as it battles its worst ever outbreak. China has called travel curbs imposed by other countries unacceptable. In the meantime, 19 people died and 20 others were injured today in a road traffic accident in eastern China's Jiangxi province. State media reported that the major road traffic accident took place in Nanchang County. A local news outlet reported that the accident took place when a truck hit a funeral procession. In Mexico, 2 metro trains collided in a Mexico City tunnel yesterday, killing 1 person and injuring 57 others. Television footage showed injured passengers being treated in ambulances following the crash, which occurred on the North-South Metro Line 3. Mexico City Mayor Claudia Sheinbaum said in a brief statement from the scene of the accident that some people suffered minor injuries. He said the train conductor was the most seriously injured person in the collision, which occurred between the Prestrero and La Raza stations. In a related development, at least 38 people have died and scores were injured when 2 buses collided near the town of Kaffrine in central Senegal today. The Senegalese public prosecutor, Cheikh Dieng, said early investigations suggested that the accident was caused when a bus assigned to the public transport of passengers following the bursting of a tire left its trajectory before colliding head-on with another bus coming in the opposite direction. Colonel Cheikh Four, who is in charge of operations for the West African country's National Fire Brigade, said 38 people died and 87 were injured in the accident. He said the wreckage and demolished buses have since been cleared, and the governor and local officials already visited the scene, he added. In response to the grave accident, President Macky Sall announced 3 days of national mourning beginning tomorrow. In a tweet, President Sall said, after the period of national mourning, a government council will be held to take firm measures on road safety. You're watching Spring Global on Western Spring Television. We'll be right back after this break.
Arrested, affected, sound, found. What do we see?